Thank you again for being here. I'm Christine Catoggio, midlife redesign mentor, life transition strategist, transformational coach, speaker, and author, and so many other things. But most of you know me already, and I'm happy that you could be here today. This is a really exciting topic for me, and I want you to get excited about it too, because this is about bringing your vision to life. And I know we've all been through some challenging months, and we may have gotten sidetracked and lost our way a little bit, but this is really a time for us to start focusing on moving forward, getting back on track, getting back to some semblance of normalcy, whatever that might be for us, and really thinking about our next steps and what we can do to take ourselves forward. So, with that being said, I want to start with asking you a question. And this is going to be somewhat interactive as well, so I don't want to be just talking to you for an hour and a half. I really want some interaction, and I'd really love to get your participation. So the question I'd like to ask you, and I am admitting some people, so bear with me, okay? So if I asked you to describe what your life looks like 10 years from now, could you see it? Can you look beyond your current circumstances, your current reality, where you are now, and see what could be or should be for your life? What I just asked you is the power of vision. Being able to look beyond where you are now, what your current circumstances are, and really create a vision for what it is you want to move forward and move toward. A vision is a very powerful tool for guiding the direction of your life. And so to be able to have the things that you want in life and create the life that you want for yourself, you really need to have a guidepost. You need to have a direction. For those of you who have heard me speak, you know I'm a fan of The Wizard of Oz, and I always reference Dorothy. She knew she wanted to get to Oz. She knew she needed to follow the yellow brick road to get there. And along the way, there were a lot of obstacles, a lot of crazy characters, and a lot of things that threw her off her path. But nothing deterred her from getting to Oz. And so, what is your Oz? That is your vision. And that's what we're going to talk about today, about how to create that so that you have that yellow brick road or whatever that is for you to follow to get you to your Oz, to bring that vision to life. And as I mentioned, the vision is a really powerful tool because it not only guides the direction of your life, but it gives you momentum. It gives you something to work towards. So even when we do have obstacles and years like COVID, hopefully not too many ever again, but when we do have things that really throw us off our path, we still have something that we're working towards, and we can always find our way back. So let me share a little bit with you about why I'm so passionate about vision. I've seen this in action many times in my life. And there have been times where I kind of poo-pooed it myself and like, oh, it doesn't work and whatever, because I was going about it all wrong. And so today I'm going to speak to you about the Create, Manifest, and Succeed method that I use with my clients to help them get through everything that they're going through and still forge ahead to what it is that they really want to create for themselves. And that's something I did for myself There were many times where I was doing well, business was going well, I had a nice life going for myself, and then some personal things hit and really set me off my path. And a few times almost took me out of the game. And it was really hard for me, and I'm sure some of you, especially if you work for yourselves, know how hard it is to get back on that track when you are the breadwinner, the chief cook and bottle washer, and all the decisions and everything is up to you. It's really hard to spend that time to focus on yourself and figure out your next steps. You're really just in survival mode. And that's okay, because we need to go through survival mode so we do understand that we are powerful, capable women. I will use women because we're all women here today, even though I do work with some men, and this works for men as well. And what I started to do to get myself back on track was I started using the same methods that I use with my clients. I said, I've seen clients have great results. So, here I am, I'm the shoemaker, I could take care of everybody else and help them, but I couldn't help myself. So I started working on myself, doing the things that I do for my clients. And little by little, I was able to find my way back and start getting back on track. And it was a process, and it is a process, as is getting to your vision and understand what that vision is. There's a lot of self-discovery and a lot of understanding what it is you truly want. And that was a big issue that I was having. I was right, I went through those times where I just wanted to be able to survive. And I know a lot of us have been there as well. And so now it's time for, okay, let's get out of survival mode. Let's put one foot in front of the other, and let's start moving towards what it is we want. And that's a difficult one for so many people because we don't know what we want. So I started doing all the self-improvement. I started doing everything, all the programs. I started doing Reiki. I started doing all types of energy healing. I, did all the Tony Robbins. I did them all. And I realized that it was really me who needed to do the inner work. And so when we talk about creating this vision, it is a lot of inner work, and it is a process, because it's not just a question. I have my vision board behind me, and I purposely put it there because it's one of the manifestation techniques that I'll mention later on. But also because when I have done these vision boards with so many people, they just put a lot of pictures up and didn't understand the emotions that were behind it. It was easy to say, I want a lot of money, I want the fancy car, I want the nice house. But without understanding why you want it and what fulfillment that is going to give you, that vision board is really meaningless. So you really need to understand what is behind what you want for your life. And so that's one of the first steps, and I'll be getting to those 3 steps in just a minute. But that is one of the first things that you really need to figure out for yourself, is what is it you truly want. And as I mentioned, that's a process of going through your values, your priorities, and that's a much more involved than we have time for today. But I will share with you later on, if you want to delve into that deeper with me, we can talk about that later on. But it really is a process. So for today, we're going to really just skim the surface, but it's going to be enough for you to, 1, start getting excited about what's possible. Okay, start refocusing where your attention is and what it is you're thinking about and what it is that you do want for yourself. And I'll give you some techniques to do that later. And then before we close out today, I am going to give you some guidelines for creating a personal vision statement for yourself. And I say guidelines because there again, that can go a lot deeper, but you do need a starting point. So today is going to be your starting point for bringing that vision to life. It's baby steps. It is baby steps, as many of you know. It's like, anything good is worth working at. So I do honor you for being here today and investing the time to be here with me today and learning and helping yourself take those next steps. So with that being said, I want to share with you the 3 steps. Now, they may sound simple, but I really want you to take some notes, write them down, because there are some things, as I said, that you're going to want to spend some time going back on and reworking later on. So the first one is, I call it create. Really what happens to so many of us is we lose our dreams. We have dreams, and for any number of reasons, we have to let those dreams aside. So I want you to imagine for a moment. I want you to go back, and for some of us, it's way back, to when you're in grade school, about 7 years old, maybe. And you're sitting in the classroom and you're staring out the window and you're watching the leaves and you're watching the birds and you're looking at the squirrels. You are doing everything but listening to that teacher. Your mind is taking you places that only your mind can conceive. What you want to be when you grow up, what you can do with your life. Do you want to be like your mommy? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to be a teacher? I mean, think back to a 7-year-old and all the ideas and dreams that come to our mind. And there you are, immersed in those dreams. You can really see yourself. You can really see yourself in the future. You have a very clear vision of what you want for your life. And then you hear, Susie, stop dreaming. Anybody remember those days? That's what happens to us so many times. We are taught to stop dreaming. And so we forget how to do it. So the create part is start dreaming again. Start dreaming. Think about the things that you like to do as a child. Why did you stop doing them? It's never too late to bring those dreams to life. Bring back your childlike wonder. If you have children or grandchildren, trust me, they will help you bring back your childlike wonder. When is the last time you ever jumped in a puddle? Do childlike things. It's amazing how energizing and invigorating that can be for getting your creative flow going. One day I was walking with my granddaughter, and all of a sudden she just walked over and hugged a tree. Sometimes the simplest things remind us of the dreams that we've hidden or set aside. And so when we can start bringing back some of that childlike wonder into our life and start getting creative again, doodle. I remember as a kid doodling all the time. Color, do puzzles, do all the things you like to do as a kid. And I like to tell my clients when I'm working with them, when you color, now you have permission to color outside the lines. As a kid, we were always told to conform and to stay in the lines. Now we have permission to be bold and be brave and color outside the lines. Walt Disney had a vision of what he wanted Disney World to look like long before it ever came to fruition. People thought that his vision was crazy. It was swampland. Nothing would ever come of it. And he was persistent and he was clear in his vision and his dream. And he stood focused on that vision. And so think about that. He started with a mouse. He started drawing something simple and then imagined where he could go from there. And that's what we need to do, is create for ourselves. Imagine the possibilities. We've been taught to restrict ourselves. We've been taught to stay in the lines, stay in the box. And especially through COVID, I've shared this with so many of my clients. Kick the box to the curb. The rules are all gone. Anything is possible nowadays. I was recently having a conversation with someone about entrepreneurship, and they're trying to redesign their life and figure out their next steps. And we got on the topic of things that people brought to the market that never thought would be anything profitable. Things like, and some of you may remember this, the pet rock, or Billy Bass fish that used to sing. Everyone got one for Christmas that year. Okay, those things were just someone's, idea, and they were like, oh, let's just put it out there. And those things sold so much money. They were millionaires because of those. They may have been one-hit wonders, but the idea is their creative genius had them follow through with an idea, and they took a chance, and they made millions. It's a risk, but it's worth it. It's worth it because we never know where that vision is going to take us. And so if we're stuck in where we are today and in our current reality without looking beyond it, we will never get any further than we are today. And that's why the vision is so powerful, because we really have to be creative. And we really have to take the limits off our life. So part of the creating process is to take 5 minutes every day to focus on your vision. It can be first thing in the morning. It can be later in the day. It can be something that you may want to do before you go to sleep, because then the mind will be working on that while you're sleeping. Take 5 minutes every day to think about your vision. Keep it focused. Keep it in front of you. The next part is the manifest. And I already touched on this a little bit about the limiters that are on our life and dreaming big, taking those limits off. And to be able to manifest something, the vision board is one way. The vision board is one way to do it because it's a visual representation of the things that you want to bring to life. And it doesn't always have to be in a vision board like this. It can be, you can do a vision board, you can create some montages right on your computer or in Pinterest. You can post pictures around the house. You can put Post-its of thoughts or ideas or affirmations where you can see them on your mirror in the bathroom, so you see them every time you look in the mirror. To manifest, it needs to be front and center, top of mind. It needs to be something that you are focused on constantly. I'll give you an example of something that manifested for me, and not even on purpose, just because it was in front of me for so long. I don't know how clearly this comes across. This is a picture of Lake Como in Italy. This was my desktop, on my desktop, back in the day when computers had desktops, for years, only because when I saw this, I loved it. And I said, one day I will get there. And that was on my desktop for years and years and years. And then I manifested a trip to Italy eventually years later. And that's another lengthy story. But when I was sitting with the travel agent, I said, how far is it to Lake Como? And she said, it's just a train ride. And it might have been 15, maybe almost 20 years after this picture was on my desktop. And I was on a train to Lake Como. And I spent 3 days there. And the whole time I was there, I said, I never realized by looking at this picture every day, I literally manifested it. I brought it into my world. And that's a big part of what manifesting is. You need to bring in the things you want into your world. So if you want to travel, you have some place in mind you want to go to, immerse yourself in it. Study the language, learn more about it. Go to meetups or go to groups that are pertinent to that. Take courses, find out more and more about it. And shortly, before you realize it, it will start to show up. And that's how I ended up in Italy. I had Italy on my mind. And I went to a network and met someone who taught Italian lessons. That's where I met the travel agent who set up my trip for me. Little by little, things started to show up, making what seemed impossible possible. But I was focused on that vision. It was something I wanted to do for a special birthday, and I just kept saying it over and over and over again. For my birthday, I'm going to Italy. For my birthday, I'm going to Italy. I had no clue how I was going to get there, but things started to show up. When we know what we want, the universe responds. And so we really need to maintain that outlook of going in the direction that we want to go in. It's easy to especially during these challenging times, it's easy to focus on what's not working. And it's just like worry. When we focus on that, we bring in more of the same. So what we focus on expands. And so that's where the manifesting starts to come in. Script it. Write about it. Write notes to yourself or in your journal about what you would like to do when you get to that vision. What does it look like for you? Earlier, we started with the question, what would your life look like 10 years from now? Could you see it? So here's an interesting exercise for you to do for yourself. Journal, speak it into your computer, however that works for you. And I'm just gonna see what's in my chat. Okay. All right, gotcha, okay. However that works for you, write it, write the story. One of the exercises I do with my clients is I tell them to envision themselves at 90 years old, sitting in a rocking chair on the porch somewhere. What is that somewhere? Who are you with? How is your health? What is going on with the rest of your life? What is your family doing? Think of every detail as you look back on your life at 90 years old. That's where you are today. And so if you know what that is going to look like when you're 90 looking back, that is going to help you prepare the road to how you're going to get there. What is it you want to bring into your life so when you're 90, you can look back and say, I accomplished everything that I wanted for my life. The next part is succeed. You know, a lot of us don't have a direction for what we want for our life. And we get sidetracked either in a career or in something that may not be aligned with what it is we truly want for our life. And that's why it's so important for us to have that clear vision, because whatever we do today moving forward needs to be in alignment with that vision to bring us closer to our vision. Now, if you think about this from a business perspective, a leader or CEO of a huge corporation or any company has a vision for their company or their organization. And every single thing that that organization does is focused on getting closer to that vision, creating that vision. And that's exactly what we are. We are the CEOs of our own life, our own organization. So everything we do in all areas of our life needs to be aligned towards that vision. So we need to have that direction for ourselves. One of the ways we do that is to really trust our own capabilities and our own knowledge and experience. It's easy for us to have these grand visions, but then we poo-poo the ideas because we have self-limiting beliefs. We may lack the confidence. We may convince ourselves that we are not good enough or we're too old. We come up with all the reasons in the world why we can't achieve something. And if we don't believe in our own capabilities and talents, we will never be able to bring those visions to life. And so it's crucial that we work on understanding our own purpose, our own reasons for fulfillment. What is it that makes us tick? What are we good at? What are our passions? And so there again, it's a self-discovery process, but understanding that and being able to believe that we can do it and we can achieve it is probably one of the strongest motivators to getting to that vision. You know, I listen to the TED Talks, I listen to the YouTubes, I listen to all of them. And the one key thing that we always hear is nothing is impossible. But we need to believe it. We need to believe it for ourselves. I recently came across something on YouTube, and I couldn't honestly even tell you what it was. It was something as I was trolling through, and it was about, and some of you may be more familiar, it was about a gentleman from Kenya who had all kinds of issues getting out of his own country and getting to this country for security and survival, and how he ended up winning the marathon and breaking records in the marathon by some phenomenal time that seemed virtually impossible. And the story behind it was because he fought so hard to get here and to achieve what he had achieved in his life that he never thought he would ever be able to do. And so in his mind, nothing was impossible. It was just a question of getting out there and doing it to the best of his ability. And it's really, it's an amazing story. And when he broke that record, a record that no one had ever come close to, the following year it gave someone else the opportunity to break another record, because now they had a guidepost. They had something that they wanted to compete against. They saw that someone else was able to achieve it, and they were just as determined. So we really need to get that same determination for ourselves. What is it that you want so badly that you will do anything to achieve it? Now, of course, when I say anything, it's within reason, it's legal, it's, but I mean, what is it that you can be so passionate about that will make you unstoppable? We all have that something. We just need to get the fire back in our belly. And we can do that. We can do that. We always need to stay focused. Stay focused on that vision and what that vision looks like. Because as soon as we lose that focus, that's when we get off track. And I know, for the difficult months we've had, for some of us, that's been hard to do, to stay focused. But now we're moving forward. We are moving forward into new rules. We're redesigning our life. We're, for so many of us, shifting and recalibrating and rebooting because what we were doing before wasn't working. And so this is a great opportunity for us to find a focus and to stay focused on it so that we can move forward. We need to have that direction, that guidepost that is going to take us there. So stay focused. So we create, we manifest, and we succeed. That's a 3-step process to getting towards your vision. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot deeper that we can go towards that vision, and we do need to do the groundwork to help us understand our purpose, our passion, and how to create the vision that we really want to work towards. And so with that right now, I'd like to do an exercise with you. Because one of the important things we need to do when we're talking about vision is learn to ground ourselves. So is everybody up for a little exercise? Okay. So as I mentioned, the vision process is a discovery process to clarify what's most important to you. So to create a vision for yourself, you must be in the right frame of mind. So how do we get there? You must be open, alert, centered, and ready. So the first thing we're going to do is quiet your mind. We want you to find your center. So when you're in your center, you are fully present. So if you're busy doing some other things or trolling through Facebook, I'm going to ask you to set all that aside for the moment and get present. Because to be present, your mind isn't racing towards what you have to do at the end of this. You're not thinking about the past. Instead, your mind needs to be calm, empty, and alert. So I'm asking you to be calm, empty, and alert. Can we do that? Okay. So to establish your center, place your feet firmly on the ground. Then place your full attention on the bottom of your feet for about 20 seconds. Notice any sensations. Breathe slowly, steadily, and quietly. Focusing on your feet draws excessive energy from your head down into your body. It's one of the quickest ways to quiet the mind. Next, place your awareness on your heart. Gently smile inwardly at your heart. Breathe in and acknowledge your heart. Breathe out and say to your heart, thank you. Do this for 3 full breaths. Still inhaling and exhaling calmly, smoothly, and quietly. And feel the warmth of being connected to your heart. Carl Jung said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Continue to inhale and exhale calmly, smoothly, and quietly. And feel the connection to your heart. You may want to put your hands on your chest and feel your heart and say thank you. Now with a quiet mind, envision the one thing that you want more than anything for your life. And inhale it and exhale. Breathe it in. Inhaling and exhaling calmly, smoothly, and quietly. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So if you would, put in the chat how you feel, if you had a vision, if something came to you. Usually takes a lot longer, there's no doubt. But when you quiet your mind, ideally, there is one thing that pops into your mind. And that first thing is something that you may not have even thought about. Anybody have any ideas they'd like to share? No? Okay. Corinne, ready for a new conscious, healthy, loving relationship again. Great. Kim, not what I thought it would be. Interesting. It's just what I said, right? It's the one thing that you least expect. The Cueva, I feel great, reminds me of mindfulness. And that's really what it is. It's really quieting the mind. It's really quieting the mind so we can hear what's really going on in there. Great. And take those thoughts, and if you would write it down in your notes. Kim thought it would be losing weight. It wasn't. Amazing feeling. Rosemary, I see where I want my organization to go so I can retire. Well, that's good. Rosemary is the founder of EncorePBC.org. And actually, if you stay on the call, we can all introduce ourselves towards the end. Nick Quaver, I saw myself as an esteemed educational leader and playing the violin. Ooh, well, we know you're already an esteemed educational leader. Do you play the violin?
I'm so happy to say that I am taking lessons. I've
Ah,
used this COVID period to keep learning, and studying the violin is right there with it.
oh, awesome, awesome. Anybody else want to share what theirs was? Okay. I can tell you the first time I did mine, it was something totally different than what I thought as well, and which was really interesting. It actually got me thinking about going in a different direction, which I'm actually working on. So when the mind is quiet, it's amazing what we can hear. And that's one of the reasons why meditation, and that's what mindfulness is really, it's a meditation. It's really just listening to the mind and the heart and the soul, because our busy lives don't allow us to do that typically. So that's a great start. That's a great start. So typically when we do this, when we create the vision, the personal vision statement, there are 7 elements that we explore and we dissect when we do that. And we don't obviously have time to do all of those today, but when you get in the right frame of mind and you start to spend some time on discovering what's really important in your life, then the vision comes to light. It really does come to light. And there again, as Kim mentioned, okay, it wasn't what she thought. That was one of the things that happens all the time when we do the vision boards too. It's because when I do the vision board workshops, we include this process as well before we do the vision board, so to help give us some clarity. And it's really interesting to see when people are cutting out their pictures and pasting them on the board, the areas of their life that might be more prominent than others, or maybe some of the things that are missing that aren't as important that they thought were important. So it's really an interesting exercise in evaluating what's important in your life and helping you eliminate the things that are not working. So the 7 areas that we work on and really delve into when we do this work are core values. And I'll just touch on each of these for a minute. So core values, it's right up there with knowing what you want. And there again, many of us sacrifice our core values for so many reasons. And then we reach a point in our life where we're like, why did I get in that relationship? It's, I knew that there were things there that weren't in alignment with what I want for myself, or didn't match up with my values. I use that as an example. But so it's really important that we understand our own personal core values, because it's there again, it's peeling an onion. We are onions. And we need to peel the onion to get to the core of who we really are and what it is we truly want for ourselves. So getting to the core values is utmost importance. Another area that we delve into is interest. And here, this is a lot about purpose and passion, understanding the things that you enjoy doing most. What excites you, the things that if you didn't get paid for it, if money wasn't an object, what would you love to be doing? And there again, I invite you, if you have thoughts on this, put it in the chat. I'd love to have a conversation going. Areas of focus. What are the major categories of your life that always need your attention? Sometimes we don't realize or we don't acknowledge that there are 7 areas of our life, and for some of us more, that we all need some attention on. And Unfortunately, some of us get caught up in focusing our attention in just one or two places and not really realizing that we have spirituality, we have health, we have relationships, we have family. I mean, there's a whole series of other areas of our life. And so, you know, in the coaching world, it's the optimal world is to be able to balance those areas of focus. And so we all need to think of that as well when we're creating that vision. Be sure that we're including all of those areas of our life that are truly important to us, that may need our attention as well. And then we talk about our strengths. What is it you're really good at? You know, you wouldn't want to create a vision of being a prima ballerina at 65 years old when you never took a dance lesson in your life. That just wouldn't make any sense. But that's not to say if dance is something you have a love for, well, there are a lot of other ways that you could bring dance into your life. And just like Kim mentioned, that it doesn't always show up the way that you think it will. I was having this conversation, actually Rosemary and I were talking about this recently. I always felt that I wanted to be a teacher, and I never taught in front of a classroom. And yet every time I do a presentation, I'm like, I'm teaching. I am a teacher. It's not what I thought it would look like, but here I am later on in life, and I am teaching. It's something that I love to do. I love to help other people see what they don't see for themselves. It's something that is my fulfillment and my joy and my passion. So you need to be sure that whatever it is that you are good at, that you want to bring more of in your life, that you focus on it. But don't deny yourself because it may not seem practical. Dreams is another area that we focus on. And this is big because dreams and visions are very close in hand. If this was your last day on earth, what would you regret not doing, seeing, or creating? What would that be for you? What would that be? Because that's something you want to incorporate into your vision. When you're 90 in that rocking chair looking back, you want to have had that in your life. So think about how your dreams tie in with your vision. There again, I'll use the example of the ballerina. Okay, how can you tie that in? Or maybe you did dance as a child, and now you're like, I really want to dance more. Well, there are all kinds of dance studios and things out there that can help you do that. There again, bring the dreams to life. I've seen women in their 60s and 70s, you know, who are bodybuilders and fitness experts because later on in life they learn to start taking care of themselves, and all of a sudden they're in competitions and doing things that they never thought about doing in their 30s and 40s. And yet here they are bringing those thoughts and those dreams to life. Skills is another area. What are the 3 areas? And I hope you're jotting these down. If not, I'll be happy to share them with you later. What are 3 areas that you strongly want to cultivate skills in that will in some way enrich your life experience? Well, Nicueva mentioned the violin. For me, it's Italian. Anybody else have something they'd like to share? What is it, something that you want to cultivate skills in? I know COVID brought out that in a lot of people. A lot of people started cooking again, started taking different classes, learning different things, getting certifications. And if you have to find some positives out of where we've been the last 7 months or so, I think that's definitely one of the positives. I think we've all learned to develop some skills that have really enriched our life experiences. And for many of us, it might be what's actually drawing us to our vision. So, which is how I like to look at COVID. It's bringing us closer to where we're meant to be. So, anybody have any ideas on skills that they want to learn? Corinne, better social media skills. Yeah, I think we're all learning that. I didn't know anything about Zoom when all this started. And we know we're going to be using more of that. On the Quaver, I'd like to plant an herbal garden. Oh, that's a good one. I know a lot of people doing that. That's awesome. I mean, these are so many things that, we really elevate our life when we introduce these new skills and we learn these new skills. It's continuous learning. Kim, better parenting skills. That's a great thing to want to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, we really elevate our life and change something about our life that really is bringing us closer to our vision. It's bringing us closer to what we really want. Because if we are drawn to something, there is a reason we are drawn to it. It's like when you look at a magazine and a picture catches your eye, whether it be a decorating idea or a recipe or whatever it might be. If something catches your eye, there's a reason. There's a reason for it. That's the time to cut that picture out, put it on the wall or put it in a folder for your vision board when you're ready, because there's a reason we are drawn to things. Our soul is calling. Oh, Corinne says, if you want help, I got my mother a garden from Palm Beach Farms. You can buy one started in beautiful wood frame. Okay, there you go. Okay, Quaver, you're all set. And the last thing is profession. What are things you must do to feel fulfilled in your work? And if you've been listening, you probably realize that a lot of what we're talking about in bringing your vision to life is really getting to the heart of what you truly want, what's really important to you, and what gives you purpose and fulfillment. And ultimately, that's what our vision is. And so to be able to define it and design it and recognize it and align everything we do now to bring us towards it, that's where our ultimate fulfillment is. So we're going to take a couple of minutes and we're going to craft a working personal vision statement. And this is just going to be something simple because obviously we don't have the time to go through all the 7 areas. So this is going to be it's a raw vision statement, but it's someplace to get you started. And remember that the vision doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever you create is not set in stone, and it will evolve over time. So for now, we're going to simply create a working vision. This is just going to be a rough draft. It's simply to capture the things that are most important to you. So we're going to go into some questions. Here we go. Okay. Ask yourself about some past changes and what changes you may like for yourself. So, what changes do you currently see that you would like to make in your life? Maybe you want to be healthy, wealthy. Tell yourself specifically how you picture your life. Remember, in your vision, anything is possible. And when you build your vision, think big. Think big. Dream big. When you create a successful vision, you begin to feel passionate about it. Look beyond your reality, not where you are now. And it's important in all aspects of life: physical, emotional, business. So the key things you want to remember: know exactly who you are. Brainstorm, imagine, and dream. Focus on things that give your life purpose and meaning. And do not put limits on your dreams. Now, this is just going to be rough, and you're going to want to spend more time on this later, but I'll give you some quick thoughts as ideas, okay? So, for example, Oprah's vision is to be a teacher and to be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be. Richard Branson's vision is to have fun in my journey through life and learn from my mistakes. So those are simple ones. It can be that simple, or it can be as long as you want. It can be a paragraph. It can be a page. Here's a longer one I'll read while you're thinking, just to give you ideas. Each day I uphold the values of blank in all that I do. I am filled with vitality and passion when I blank. Each week I grow in the key areas of my life, including blank. I feel content and enriched each day because I capitalize on my natural strengths of blank. By doing whatever that is you do, for the sheer joy of doing something I love doing. Paint a mental picture of your life 5 to 20 years from now. What do you stand for, and who are you committed to being? Anybody have any ideas they want to share? I know it's a rough draft, but Lisa Nichols says, dream big. In order to love the life you live the life you love. But you have to be willing to dream big. Go beyond your current circumstances. Kick the box to the curb. Color outside the lines. Don't think about your current reality. Create a vision for where you want to be 10, 20 years from now. I'll just give you another minute or two. Anybody want to share? Okay. We're winding down here. I'll leave you with an acronym. Start bringing your vision to life and creating the life you desire. So vision is about seeing. It's about seeing what is possible for your life, seeing beyond where you are now, seeing what it is that you truly want for yourself. So an easy way to think about it is see, S-E-E. Surround yourself with what you want for your life, whether it's music, art, whatever that might be for you. Surround yourself. E, express it, emote it. Feel it as though it is already here. That's part of the manifesting. That's how I got to Italy. I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. Just keep saying it as though it's already happening. Don't need to question how. The universe will respond as soon as you commit to the vision. E, expand your world and get out of the box. Be open to possibilities, explore new ideas. Think about the sharks, okay, and how take a shark out of a shark tank and put it in the ocean. It will still travel in the same area as though it was still in that tank, because that's what it is used to. And that's who so many of us are. We are stuck like a shark in our limited arena, and we don't think outside of what we're capable of and what we can achieve. So don't be a shark. Don't be a shark. Swim outside, color outside the lines, and create the vision that you want for yourself. And we'll explore a lot more of these ideas I mentioned to you earlier. If you're interested in working further with me, I do have my Reawaken, Refine, and Redesign program that explores each of these and goes deeper into each one of these. And we actually can craft our vision as well as design a vision board that really has meaning for what it is that you want to bring into your life. And it's a 6-week program, and I do have a special offer for those who have been on the call, and I'll be sending that out to you in email today. And if you're interested, the special price is good for 48 hours. And I look forward to bringing more of the vision work to you. As I said, it's very powerful, and I'm very passionate about working with you to bring your vision to life. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I know it's possible for you too. So if you're ready to take the next steps, look for that email later on today, and I'll be happy to work with you and help you really design the life that you want for yourself. So I thank you all for being here. I'm going to open it up if you'd like to make any comments, ask any questions. Ladies? Anyone? Kim? Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I need to go, but I wanted to just say I'm so glad she suggested it, because this was really good. This was really helpful for me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And send my love to Dr. Rothman.
I will.
I know we have Lee on the line. Lee, I know you came in late, but I'll be sending you the recording. Do you have any thoughts? Okay, I don't see her there. And Shirley? They may be catching the recording, okay. And then it's you and me, Rosemary.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. I didn't want to get into too much conversation because we talk to each other all the time. But I'm clear about my vision. I want to retire in 5 years, have my organization, knowing my organization will continue without me, and so I can spend more time painting and reading. It's very simple when you get this far in life.
But I know you've done a lot of work on getting to that vision, so kudos.
Well, I believe that we create our lives. We make it happen. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I definitely agree. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay.
And seeing no other comments, I am we're a few minutes early. So ladies, any last comments before we close out? Well, thank you all for joining us today, and I look forward to speaking with you moving forward. I always like to follow up and see what kind of progress you're making on your own, or if you're interested in moving forward with the next level to help you really dig deeper into creating your vision. So thank you all for being here today, and have a great afternoon. Thank you all. Bye.